His work sits at the thrilling crossroads of biology, technology, and human potential. And there is no better stage than the conference to feel the energy of that intersection come alive. He doesn't just tell the story of the biohacking revolution, he helps amplify it. Please give me a very warm welcome to a champion of innovation and the master of his craft, Mr. Brad Geisler.
Hi, good afternoon. May I ask a show of hands, who here is from outside of the Philippines? Could you raise your hand if you're from outside of the Philippines? Okay, we have a few. So, welcome to the Philippines. And as you know, we are an archipelago, meaning over 7,000 islands. But I'd like for you to consider something else. We're not just a geographic archipelago. We're a medical archipelago. What do I mean? What I see sitting in front of me is dozens and dozens of islands. Each of you is an island of expertise. And your expertise is different from your expertise, is different from your expertise, is different from your expertise. And I want you to understand it from the point of view of a patient. Because the way that we navigate this archipelago is a banca. It's a banca. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen a banca. It's like this long boat that has a lot of noise and it's really slow. Really slow. And you know, in this room, we are celebrating today a lot of the victories that we've had in curing and treating patients, but I'd like you to be conscious of the fact of all the people who suffered for decades taking that banca from island to island until they found the cure, and those that never made it. So, I ask the question, is it wrong to dream of a better system? Maybe, perhaps, there is a way to look at this differently. Because in other fields, like, say, technology, knowledge is transferred fast and easy. It's not an archipelago, and you don't travel it by banca. In other fields, ideas interchange fast. People use different elements of technology. What would it be like if somebody came to you and you did your best, because you would think of yourself almost like, I have a tool set, but I might not be exactly the right tool set, but I know exactly which island I can get that tool set from. And the person I get it, the expert that I get it from, the island that I get it from, financially benefits, you financially benefit, so you don't have this disincentive to stay as islands. That's how the technology world works. Why doesn't the medical world work this way? Can we imagine something different? So, my area of expertise is in communications and public health. I work a lot in vaccine adoption. I had a long time friendship with Dr. Homer and May. We don't always come down on the same sides of things, but I have the deepest admiration for the work that they do and the way that they bring the community together. It's just inspiring. So the thing that I want to put out there is this. The medical community has repeated this over and over and over again. And which of you in this room have said this, right? The best way to treat, you know, that the patient themselves is responsible for early detection is the most important factor in curing disease, and prevention of illness through lifestyle modification. You've said it. You've said it to people. You've said it to people. You've said it to people. You've said it to people, right? So one of the most important things, elements of science, is understanding the law of unintended consequences. Because, guess what? The public listened to you. They did. They heard everything that you said. And then they responded. And they created biohacking. Not exactly what you intended, is it? Right? Not exactly what you intended. But this is the environment that we have created, because we live in the, we'll call it, post-truth era. It's an era that I would deeply love to end, the post-truth era. But in the post-truth era comes the dawn of biohacking, where we look at all of the different types of medical technologies and interventions and nutritional supplementation and monitoring and sensors, and we try and put them onto ourselves. Like, for example, if you ask me right now, how am I? I will whip out my phone and look and say, my blood sugar is 130, and my heart rate is 74, my temperature is a little low because, I'm anxious speaking in front of a bunch of PhDs and doctors, but, biohacking is the trend. Biohacking is going to own the medical conversation. And it's very important because right now biohacking is in its dawn. It's still fragmented. It's still disorganized. It's still confused. But it won't be that way forever. And it's very, very important. Your participation in biohacking is extremely important, regardless of how you feel about it, regardless of whether you think it's BS. You still need to participate. And I'm hoping by the end of this presentation you will understand why. So, biohacking, it has many influences, but biohacking primarily emerged from sports medicine. And sports medicine, in the field of medicine, is, as you know, somewhat controversial because it's very different from other forms of medicine, which is about treating illness and helping people recover. And sports medicine is, very data-driven, it's very proactive, and there's a lot of holistic optimization, but it's also, and most importantly, about performance maximalism. I mean, understand it was sports medicine that brought us, the use of anabolic steroids. So we're not necessarily looking at a field that was totally concerned with the health and well-being of the patient, more of the performance. And biohacking is performative. And you need to understand that because that's the wave that is coming. That's the wave that's coming. And that's the part of it that we need your help to shape. Because if we look at countries like the United States, where biohacking is quite active because their medical system is so unaffordable, it has issues. And as it comes into Southeast Asia, we want to learn from the mistakes and make what happens here a more positive turnout. So biohacking is replacing wellness. And wellness, it's a mistake to consider the idea that wellness and biohacking are the same thing. They are not the same. There are some people that practice both aspects of it, but there's some very clear psychological differences between wellness and biohacking. For one thing, wellness, one of the things about wellness is my body is a temple to be preserved. Biohacking doesn't think that way. Biohacking says my body is hardware and software to be improved and upgraded. Very different mindset. Very different mindset. wellness has always been about nature is best, natural is best. And biohacking is, again, not like that. Biohacking says what produces the best results is what's best. Results. Wellness has always been very guru-led. You know, I'm a health guru. You know, I'll follow this particular health guru. I'll do what they say. I'll take it all on faith. But we live in the internet age. We live in the social media age. While there are some people who still follow gurus, that era is diminishing, and what you're getting is a much more composited, fractured, and algorithmically generated wave of information sent to individuals based on algorithmic detection. Again, wellness is very faith-based. They weren't necessarily looking at measuring and monitoring. They were more like, I feel wonderful. So, you know, wellness in many ways depended a lot on, what do you call it? The effect, that word. Placebo? Yes, thank you, placebo effect. And now we monitor. And before, while we were talking about, wellness was talking about anti-aging. What we now talk about with biohacking is health span. And it's dawning, but it's catching on quickly. And everyone is now starting to talk about biological age. So the question that you would ask in this room is, everybody here knows their chronological age. How many people here know their biological age? And how exactly did you determine that in the first place? Did you get it by a cellular blood test? Did Hume tell you what your biological age was? What is it? Again, this is a very new and fragmented time, but it won't stay that way forever. It won't stay that way forever. And the tools of the biohacker are quite diverse, right? I mean, you look at it from the point of view of your own practice, but I look at it as a patient, right? I look at it as somebody who's actually self-experimenting. And there are many different things that get used. There's monitoring and sensors and scanners and management software and emission or mechanical devices, you know, radiating infrared. And there's supplements and drips and intramuscular inventions and specialized exercise equipment and medical testing and stem cells and medical consultation. It's exhausting. And there are lots of different areas of impact, sleep, exercise, etc. But, you know, we take all of these different tools. And see, when you guys talk about things, everything that you guys talk about falls inside of those categories. I didn't put medication. I probably should have. But the point of the matter is that your individual islands of expertise take those things and give them very, very different spins and very, very different effects. So when we look at, as somebody who's trying to biohack their own health, like for example, I'm very concerned about my gut microbiome. I got a test back and it's not encouraging. And, you know, how I find the correct person, right? Do I have to attend a conference like this in order to figure out who I should go talk to regarding my gut microbiome? You know, welcome to the, you know, archipelago. Good luck. But the thing is that this is now, biohacking has been going from the fringe. It is now cresting into the mainstream. And, you know, you're talking about having mainstream media coverage, massive amounts of internet coverage, well-respected medical doctors, billionaires, world leaders. Everybody's talking about biohacking. So if you think that this is going to be a trend that goes away, no. It's not. It's becoming legitimized, and we'll call it good news, bad news. What we start to see is the rise of biohacking clinics. And these biohacking clinics are not necessarily run by doctors. They're not you. They're not you. And the issue is that there are things that you guys do that they don't do, but they're not recommending you, and they should, right? They should. They should be able to access what you know and what you know and what you know and what you know, and at the very least be able to get a teleconsult with you, but they don't. And this is going to be a problem because clinics like this, we are very concerned that the clinics like this, because they are really associated with health goals, right? With this performance maximalism, are going to be the new type of internist, right? And that's not good news for the medical community. That's not good news for the medical community, right? That's circumventing the medical community. And this is going to be bad for public health because there are going to be people who don't make it because they never discover you in the first place. So we can be upset about them, but my suggestion is that we, before this, so this one is, this clinic is in Moscow. You look, biohacking is all over the place there. When it comes into Southeast Asia, we want to make sure that when biohacking is sought out, it's not through these, it's through you, right? It's through you. And in order for that to happen, we can't be an archipelago anymore. We have to be an ecosystem. We have to evolve past the idea that just being good at what we do is good enough. That we have to be able to bring together and work in a collective fashion. So right now the DIY problem with biohacking is fake news, right? When people are getting information, they're getting information primarily from the internet. And that information, it's, how do I call it? There was this comment a physicist said, the information is so bad it's not even wrong. We have this situation where you're getting things that are factually correct but irrelevant to your biology. There's things that there's information that's incorrect. There's information that's outdated. There's agenda-driven, product-driven, and you know, we understand the idea of product-driven. Many of you have products, have clinics. You have to make, this is a capitalist society, you have to make money. But the reason why you have to make money this way, and it becomes a sort of toxic soup of misinformation, is because there's no good ecosystem for a patient such as myself to find who I need and find what I need in an effective fashion, because every one of you is an island. And you're all disconnected, or you're connected vaguely by banca. So the thing is that biohacking needs doctors, and doctors need biohacking. We need medically led biohacking, not internet-led biohacking. So, you know, other countries, this is kind of a different issue in countries that have socialized healthcare. Countries with socialized healthcare, it's kind of a different type of environment, but this is not that environment. We're not in it. And it's happening already. It's coming into this country, and it's uncontrolled. And, you know, the thing is there are doctors right now, and what they're doing is they're rejecting biohacking. And when you reject biohacking, it doesn't mean that your patients are going to reject biohacking. It just means that they know not to go to the medical community for their biohacking information. Let's go to Mother Internet, who will always be there. You know, let's go to ChatGPT, who will always, you know, tell us whatever it is that we want to hear, because we haven't created an environment that lets patients quickly and efficiently explore their own health journey effectively. So we have to learn from the mistakes of other countries and lead biohacking into medically sound waters while it's young, please. And so integrative medicine and biohacking, they're complementary in methods, but they're opposite in usage. So patients view integrative medicine as a path to treat and manage illness. And biohacking is proactive optimization of health span and lifestyle. It's not a remedy. And the thing is that right now, the biohacking community, or the people who are looking at optimizing, which will be more and more and more and more and more, they don't want just remedies, right? They want optimization of their health span in all of those different types of dimensions. And if a doctor wants to bridge this gap, they have to be more what we'll call, you have to kind of take on more of a sports medicine sort of approach, which may make some of you uncomfortable, but, you know, please, for the sake of our patients, you know, you need to be a bit more of a coach and manager. And that also means not just with your own area of expertise, but being able to work collaboratively with the other members of the community to take advantage of their area of expertise. Because in sports medicine, if I'm good at knees, I'm not going to try and treat somebody's back, right? Because that's how sports medicine works. Sports medicine is collaborative, right? And it's kind of, now we have to start thinking about it from the point of view of what's wrong to what are your goals, right? It's a different fundamental approach. And we want to move away from what we'll call the traditional clinic model and into what we'd call a more subscription-based system, right? A system where people are coming to visit you regularly, but you, as we'll call it, the representation of the entire archipelago, rather than just you as an individual expert. We don't live in that era anymore of islands of intelligence. We are the whole archipelago. You have to be the whole archipelago. And you do that through the proper leveraging of technology, through being part of the ecosystem and contributing as the community. And that way, your patient really gets, we'll call it, maximal expertise. Because if you don't do it this way, you know who is going to do it for you and do it badly? AI. AI is going to read everything and is going to be, and AI is 100 times more convenient than you will ever be. They're 100 times more convenient than you will ever be. And the only way that you're ever going to achieve overcoming that convenience is to use that technology yourself, is to reroute that technology so that you can provide that information, that you can be connected to the ecosystem, so that you can provide all of the correct information. Because AI is great, but AI doesn't have accountability, and you do. And don't ever underestimate the power of accountability. So The pursuit of longevity, lifespan, health span will be likely led by biohacking. And what I'm here to tell you is it's the participation of the orthomolecular community which will decide if biohacking is driven by good science or by opportunism. It's your choice. You choose. You choose. So, our mission is to democratize longevity now. So if this subject interests you, and you want to learn how to participate in the emerging ecosystem, there's going to be a dinner later tonight, and we encourage you to join. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Brad Geisler. Now, you will have the floor all to yourself for the question and answer portion. Would you like to go up on the stage, or would you like to stand here and pretty much throw questions?
Fire away.
Fire away. Okay.
I can't answer science questions. You guys are the scientists, not me.
How are you suggesting that people go from being individual archipelagos or islands within an archipelago to one that is connected?
Well, currently right now, what we do, what my team does, is we build ecosystems because we've recognized that there are some problems that are too big, right? It's too big for you, it's too big for you, it's too big for you. It's too big for any individual, one business, any one country. And so what we do is we form ecosystems, and an ecosystem it's not just a group of people, it's the way that they interact with each other and with the patient community economically. Because I can't help you with the science, you know. So right now what we're doing is we're building that ecosystem. And Amor, would you like to participate? Oh, this is my my partner Amor.
One of the co-founders of this project, and thank you, together with Dr. Homer. Maybe just to answer how we intend to create solutions related to biohacking, several ways. How do we embed, for example, biohacking into built spaces? For example, is your home really making you healthier? Do you know, for example, that the type of light that you use at home may actually be disadvantageous to your wellness and longevity? What if I told you that in the first 15 minutes, assuming you shower every day, right? We shower every day, but we're Asians, we shower 3 times a day. So assuming that the first 15 minutes of when we shower, we receive red light, the right dose of vitamin D. Most of us, whether you're a billionaire or you're a BPO agent, you don't get enough vitamin D. Did you know that? We don't get enough sleep. Whether you're a billionaire or a BPO agent, our circadian rhythms are, it is. So there are ways to actually stack protocols, right? So meaning from your home, it can be built into it. How many of you have gyms that are absolutely useless? You buy a walker, you buy a rower. How many of us bought so much gadgets during the pandemic? God knows I've burned so much money. Are you using it now? No. But what if we told you that it could be built into spaces? We're working with architect Royal Pineda to actually biohack bedrooms and bathrooms. If you're not ready to biohack your entire home, that's first. Your unit in Rockwell, for example, they're charging you an arm and a leg. For what? Because you have grohe and you have a Miele oven? No, it's not making you healthier. The same air you breathe in Forbes Park is the same air you breathe in Nueve de Pebrero, which to the foreigners here, that is basically the richest side of Makati and the slum side of Makati. It's the same air. Second, unfortunately it's not here, but it's at the dinner, so hopefully those who are interested can actually join us. How about for our construction workers and our drivers, what type of water or Cobra drink do they take to stay awake for 24 hours? It's all addled with sugar, right? But what if we could replace 3-in-1 coffee with dopamine, right? Or put adaptogens into water. So those are the projects that we're working on.
Right.
So whether it's to the top 1% or to a BPO worker, we have executions. But, sorry, because most of us are doctors here, what are we doing for doctors? Stroke is one of the highest incidences in the Philippines. And what if we told you, or I met a dear friend, Mr. Ray Mangawang from our finance days, hello. Now he's trying to avert cognitive degenerative disease, Alzheimer's, dementia. What if I told you that there are, on top of working with your CNS, you can also embed red light modalities, peptides and drips, and stack them so you can have your best life ever.
And also, now I want you to think about this for a moment. So Moore was talking about stroke, right? And how we embed technologies into a clinic. And that's great. Because we in biohacking like to talk about stacking, right? We stack protocols. What if you were part of this, instead of you thinking of yourself as the whole cure, what if you thought of yourself as part of a stack? What if this entire room were elements of a stack, and that I, as a patient, would come in and say, I have these health issues, or I have these health objectives, right? And instead of you being the whole truth, what if the protocol that you end up giving me is a stack that you picked from there, and there, put together, but done in a way that there, and there, they get compensated so that there's encouragement for that sort of participation, right? Because currently, right now, there is nothing like that exists, right? You have when a patient comes to you, you are the way and the light. You know, you come with the presupposition that you are the whole answer to their healthcare needs, which we all know is scientifically, it's not true. It's not true. And so specifically what I'm talking about is ending this archipelagic system by creating incentives for you to share protocols, to be part of a stack. And so whether I come to you or I come to you, I'm going to get the benefits from you and you. Because let's be real, that's the humanitarian thing to do, and not just try and take care of it by yourself. Sense?
Okay. I think we can learn more about it if we join the dinner tonight. So let's address all other questions personally by approaching them at dinner. Okay, thank you so much.